Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers. Good morning. Can you hear me? Yeah, perfect. My voice is not so strong. Good morning. Thank you for attending my session. And today we will talk about the security of procedures. So, of course, the question is, what is that? Yeah, because the procedure, it can be whatever, almost. So, because you know me, I will start immediately. So we will return for a very short time to my last year's session about password security. We will touch security of secret stores, and then we will switch to the procedures, our primary objective today. And we have also a demo for you, so we will have some fun. So, by the way, you know, who did attend my last year's session about the way how you can calculate entropy of your passwords?
Did the one in 17?
Great. I think it was 2017. Oh, really?
2017, yeah.
That makes no sense. Okay. Thank you.
You've done it again last year, I don't know.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. I think that I did it in Europe in 2017 and in Provo in 2018. Okay, thank you. So the previous session, we focused on the calculation, the way how you can investigate the probability of a character in a string which is used as a password, and how you can calculate the entropy. Yeah? The entropy is a number which says how difficult it is to guess the password. Yeah, so very easy, higher number, higher security, lower number, lower security. By the way, you know, because we are all here, at least people involved in IT, you know that the real life is not as easy as it looks like, because when we did start calculations, we've been, you know, thinking about a characters, a number of characters, and that's it. Then we switched to words. And when we switch to words, we can use a dictionary. So you know that if whoever, even a really stupid person, will try to attack your secrets, that person can use a dictionary very easily. And if your password is in a dictionary, you are lost in a second or two. Yeah? Computers today are very powerful. So what is fair, or what is better for you, by the way, not to ask your users and your administrators, hey, please, you know, your password should be at least 17 characters long, because if the person uses 17 numbers like 11111, that makes no sense. Yeah? So the length is important, but it's really not the way how to get a really secure password. So it's better to ask people, hey, your password should have at least this entropy. One of our customers, the organization which is responsible for inhabitant ID, yeah, they have two levels. A regular account must have password with entropy higher than 75, and the critical systems must be protected with password with entropy at least 400. Just for your imagination, 75, 70 entropy, this level of entropy, the password around 15, 16 characters. It's a good quality password, but it's like 400 bits, that's 64 characters password. Good quality, 64 characters password. Okay. Quiz. You can try to guess what is the correct answer. Yeah? So
if you run the service yourself,
So
yes.
who are you giving the passwords to?
that's a good question. But you know, online means that you know that there are services in the internet and you can use it for free. Everything which is for free, yes, that's although I have a big question mark around that. So you can use password management tools. You can use online checkers. Don't do it. If you do not help those people who are maintaining dictionaries of password, don't do it. Of passwords, don't do it. So no, 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 no. If I say you should check the entropy, I do not say use free of charge service available on the internet. So if you do so, then you know your password is recorded, is analyzed. Maybe some hashes are generated, because you know that you can save a lot of time if you use a hash dictionary instead of a easy password dictionary. It depends on the situation and the way how you want to attack somebody. Yeah. So what you can do, I have a very short demo, first demo today, and let me try to switch. Yes. So I have SecureAnyBox running here on this server, and I use this technology to show you something, but it will not work, because if you remember my yesterday's session, it will not start without a human intervention. So I have to authenticate, and you see, you don't see? Okay, so then, sorry. Please. So I just authenticate to SecureAnyBox, but it says, sorry, it was restarted, so you need to enter the configuration password to decrypt the configuration. So if somebody has a 100% copy of this server, the backup of my SecureAnyBox is protected. So without the password, the server is even not able to start all the services or the features completely. So this is demo. So my password is TTP. And now it's running. Yeah. So I can switch to my demo, and I can show you very easy example. These examples are all available for download on our website. And this script is working with a entropy calculator, which is a part of SecureAnyBox. So I can try some stupid password. Okay, so I did ask the service, and I did ask how secure is password Rotterdam. There's 9 characters, entropy is 16 bits, yeah. And time to crack offline is 71 seconds, roughly. By the way, 16 bits. Do you remember what is the entropy of 4-digit PIN for your credit or debit card? Do you remember it? Roughly 13 and a half bits. So you see, this is much longer, more than twice longer than the PIN, but the difference in entropy is very low, just because it's stupid word. I would like to show you another example. If I just press enter, it will use the default password used by Konica Minolta. Please do not get me wrong, I like Konica Minolta, just the default password is stupid. Yeah. Default password is 16 characters, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. 8. And I never ever seen Konica Minolta printer with different password than this. What does it mean? What does it mean, by the way? if you use printer, big one, and Windows, you know that Microsoft does not have any reasonable printing solution. So anybody can talk to your printer, and the printer can talk to anything in your network. That's the scenario. Yeah? If you have this password, how difficult it is to connect to the printer, upload your Java program, and run it. 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and you can go. Yeah? So it's just an example, and why I show this, this is 16 characters, and entropy is 3.70. Yeah? So let's switch back to my it takes so much time until it sends everything to Redmond. So that was demo, and that was just a short return to my previous session. Now, secret story. We've been discussing this yesterday, and I'm talking about this with customers all the time, every day. Of course, what I mean is a tool, because if you want to work with passwords, you need something you use to store, to keep your passwords in secret. Yes, sir?
The encryption algorithm is a piece of secret information itself.
Yeah. Yes, that's correct. Yeah, the encryption mechanism should not be published. But in fact, you know, if you use some well-known tool, you usually know everything. Yeah? If you know that somebody is using KeePass 2.4, you know a lot about the guy. Thank you, Joe. So, by the way, you know, do you remember or do you know who is or who was Vilfredo Pareto? Vilfredo Pareto. He died in 1923, so you probably, even you, do not know him in person. But he was a sociologist and economist, Italian guy, and he is behind a theory that you can do 80% of the result with 20% of the efforts or investment. He, by the way, he was quite strange because the fascist party in Italy we've been using his theories, but he was also investigating what we can do with our brain. Of course, in this room there are some differences, you know, I would not compare myself with Joe, but still, you know, we are around some values. So for example, he discovered that a regular standard human brain is able to keep how many passwords, or let's say at that time they did not use passwords, they say random strings. How many? A regular human brain. What do you think?
One.
Guess. 1? Somebody else?
4.
4. That's a correct number. You know him, I see. Yes, 4. 4 is definitely not enough, yeah, for anybody today. So if somebody says, oh, I have 100 passwords and I remember everything, no. That means that there is a system behind. And sometimes when you are lucky and you use 2 or 3 examples, you completely know how the person is generating passwords. Okay, so regarding the encryption mechanism, you know, people, it's like maybe 20 years ago, and people been talking in the pub and saying, my Pentium is 2.3, and the other guy said, no, my Pentium is better because it's 2.4 gigahertz. Doesn't make sense? No, but if you do not know how it works, say, it's really better. Yeah? So, another quiz, just to wake you up. Yes, correct answer, yes. When you lost your USB stick in the parking slot and somebody find it and put it in the computer, then it's okay. If you use a good encryption algorithm and reasonable password or key, then it helps a lot. But you know, if you see all the risks you are challenging, what portion is this theoretical option that you will lose it outside? 2%, 3%, the rest is totally different. So in the organization, and now we are talking about the basics of my presentation. Yeah? Imagine you use KeyPass or whatever pass, master pass. If we try to Google pass something, we will find tons of stuff now. But 99% of those solutions are single users. So does it make sense? What is the quality of the encryption algorithm if you give somebody the complete data set and the password? And even worse, you can send the data set via email and send the password via SMS. So those guys who are sitting somewhere watching us, they are getting lazy. It's too easy for them. Yeah. You see, oh, Václav sent SMS and email. Oh, nice, it works. Done. We can have a nice lunch. So, or other option is that you distribute the information in an open form, and each person, each user then uses own encryption. We quite often see organizations and they do not care. They say, oh, they know what to do it. They know. No. I mean, they, users, they do not know what to do it. And this is really crazy. 1 month ago, I visited a customer, and my task was to install SecureAnyBox and start, you know, the server and everything. So they did ask me, Václav, what do we need to prepare, you know, before you come? I said, hey guys, you know, it's happened to you. It would be great if you can prepare Linux or Windows server. So, okay, they choose Windows. I arrived, and I've been with somebody who is responsible for security, and he was not the person who did install the server. So I said, let's start. He said, oh, I don't know how to connect to the new server. I need to investigate. So he'd been calling in the next room, hey, please, I need to use the server. And the guy from the other room said, you have everything on your table. I do not see it. Under the magazine. Here is everything, you know, a full A4 of valuable information, and it was laying there 2 days. Yeah? So this is an example how unencrypted but valuable information can be distributed. Of course, my recommendation was not to install it on this server, but he said, oh, I don't care. So we did it. The customer is always right. Yeah. Another thing is how it really works, because we see tons of solutions, and we say the class of the solution is master password. That means that you use something, you open, you decrypt, and then you work. Yeah? There was very nice announcement in January from one security lab, I think from Florida. They are located in Florida, and they announced that they are able to attack, and there was a list like LastPass, KeyPass, 1Password, I don't know, 7 examples, and the announcement was we did successfully attack users of these solutions because it's a master password class. This is really serious. I see customers, they order security check, and if they use such tools, quite often in 2 days, the security lab give them a piece of paper and say, here are your passwords. Please check if everything is here and if it's correct. And it is. So, and it is not because the encryption algorithm is not the right one. That's because there is a way around how you can get all the information. Of course, it's not only about the master password class, it's also about nice features, yeah? If somebody asks me for a nice feature and say, hey, we will pay you a nice money, I always say no. No, 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 no. Sorry, no. I show you, I tried to put it on the slide, but it was not possible, so I have it in a text editor. If you are experienced KeePass user, you know that you see a part of a configuration file of KeePass. You can find this file in your program files KeePass folder. And here we have a trigger and action. Trigger says, on save, do something. And the action says, export everything in CSV format into C10 password CSV. That's it. What does it mean? If you use KeePass and somebody else is managing your workstation, you are in troubles. You are in serious troubles. And this feature is there because, you know, KeePass is a community product, and by the way, very nice. Yeah? It's very convenient and easy to use. But there are some companies, and they use KeePass as a basic for their paid solutions. So they need some special features, and this feature is designed for synchronization. Yeah? Once I visit a nuclear power plant, I'm not kidding, it was not in Czech Republic, it was in another country, and very nice, very nice. You know, they even measure my weight because they need to know what amount of radioactive strontium I'm holding in my bones. And when we've been talking about security, and I did present them our solution, and they said, oh, we have a solution. So, okay, guys, you know, be fair. I told you about my solution, you can tell me about your solution. Okay, Václav, no problem. We share KeePass files through Dropbox. And I was like, speechless. Say, really? You're kidding? No, 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 it's perfect. We update, you know, when anybody updates a KeePass file, that person uploads it to Dropbox, and we all get email that we need to download a new version. I'm not kidding. But you know, that's just because they focus on something which is not so important. That's it. You sometimes see people and they say, oh, we've been even testing and reading articles, and it's encrypting really nice. 2 weeks ago, I did a webinar for customers. There was somebody from academic institution, yeah, scientists, and he said, yeah, we use Excel for all the secrets. And I think that the encryption in the last version is quite good, isn't it? Maybe, yeah, it is. So let's continue. Time is running fast. So, you know, such a special feature, you know, and how it can happen. This was not included in version 2.3. It is there from version 2.4. You just upgrade because it's always good to have the latest version. If you don't care, you can run in troubles by design. Yeah? So, again, if anybody can access your workstation, and of course, when we talk about the master password, let's return to it again. So, the principle is quite easy. User enters the master password, and the secret store gets open. Yeah. In some cases, with some utilities, it just decrypts the complete database into the memory, and it's dead. Yeah? The question is if it's secure to have it in the memory, unencrypted. And of course, another question is, if you do this, if you exit or switch off your computer, or at least log out every day, who does it? Who does it?
Look out every day. I do.
Every day.
I do.
Because, you know, you see so many people, especially with laptop, and they just sleep, wake up, sleep, wake up, week, 2, 3. That means that it's still in the memory. And you know about all those announcements like, oh, we are able to, you know, store your notebook, remove the RAM chips, put it to another computer. If it's cooled down with a spray, it's okay, and we can read it. With some, maybe, yeah.
This is
But-
why I have a note. I have it.
Yeah.
Where it is.
Yeah, you know, it depends, but it's definitely not secure, yeah, because it is there, and the question is how it is protected, yeah, especially if you use, for example, virtualized environment. So that's another problem with master password solutions. So let's move closer to procedures. What is the basic question? The answer for basic question is 42, we know, but in this case, when we see people and they use single user solution, and quite often they do because they say, oh, that's mine, you know, I manage my secrets in my store and I'm okay with that, I like it. So first thing is that the way how it works and forces them to become a collector. Yeah? More passwords and secrets you have in your KeyPass, better you are. Yeah? You see companies or organizations, and we can organize a quiz like who has the highest number of records in the database. 1,200, 1,300. That's crazy. Yeah? But why they do that? Because if they need it, if they are required to do something to provide support, of course they cannot start looking for somebody who has the information they need. The best is to have it in my own secret store. But it puts the information into the risk, and not only because there are some issues related to KeyPass and other utilities, but also the question is how many instances we have of a single secret. Yeah? Because if a secret starts spreading this way and everybody keeps it in own something, then you completely do not know what is happening, you know, how good is the, let's say, password or key they use to protect their secret store. If they give it to somebody else, simply nothing. And of course, as I mentioned when I talk about the nuclear power plant, you do not have a mechanism for updates. So then you have different instances, different versions of secrets. And again, as I mentioned in the example about the piece of paper, yeah, the question is how those secrets are delivered to the users. Yeah. Quite often you see people shouting in an open space, it is this. Yeah. So, of course, it's really dangerous to do it this way. Okay, why we need secrets? It's quite strange that even if you hear different languages, different let's say, things are handled in a different way. Yeah? If an employee is in the office, something is in the speech handled like mine. Yeah? Sometimes me. Yeah? If you drive a car, you do not say, I drive the company car to get somewhere. No, you say, I go somewhere, like we did on a horse, yeah, in the ancient time. So we see employees, and there are drivers, they are driving cars, operators operate something, and we have IT staff administering some IT stuff. And we talk about something which is definitely owned by the organization, not by the employees, by the organization. Yeah? And of course, if you own something, you are responsible for that. So if a driver quits the job, you ask the driver, oh, give me back everything, all the papers, keys, you know, whatever, report, all the damages, and you get the car back. Everybody understands it. Yeah? You return back a key from your office, etc. Yeah? But if an IT guy returns or quits the job, sorry, yeah, the question is, what is owned by the organization and what is owned, let's say, by the employee? The account is definitely owned by the organization because you have something like this firewall, this server, you know, it's a property of the organization owns it, and the organization gives me, let's say, the way how can I manage the thing, yeah? So, but it's something I know, yeah? So why it's very easy to return back a key. And sometimes, you know, that it's also quite funny that you might have a key and it's a special key with a number, and then you visit a company, please, can you make a copy of this key for me? No, it is not possible, you need a card. And, but you know, there are special cards, we call them jokers, that's a banknote. So you can use a banknote and say, can we do it with this card please today? And it depends, okay. But if you know something, and lobotomy is not allowed as a part of the procedure when you quit the job, you cannot return it back. Once you see something, once you know something, you cannot return it back. So the way how it works is that the organization usually, if it's about your own account or the account which you are responsible for that, they let you set your own password. That means that the organization owns the account, you own the password, and when you quit the job, they change the password. Your password is useless, but it's still yours. Yeah? It's not revealed. They probably do not know what is your password. Yeah? You can recycle it, but the account is, again, completely controlled by the organization. Of course, in many cases, this is not possible. Yeah? Especially in IT, yeah, it's about small devices, and the device provides two accounts, admin and guest. Yeah? You cannot create 10 accounts on that, so you need to manage it by the organization. Yeah? And there is a way how you can learn the, let's say, in most cases it's still password, and password is good enough for this, yeah. So you learn what is a password and you can do your job. So two scenarios used for this. Of course, we should not think about IT only, because today maybe you will find that other people in the company, they even use more accounts than you, because they have to interact with a growing number of stupid e-shops, portals, government portals. Oh, it's growing like crazy. And it's this case quite often. Yeah? So if the organization has to report something somewhere, or the organization has to buy a toilet paper using an e-shop because there is no other way how to do that, yeah. I do not have a personal account for that. There is an organization account, which is handled by a person who is responsible for buying a toilet paper. So, in such case, what the organization needs? Of course, passwords must be secure enough. We talked in the beginning that it's better to measure entropy of the password, to let users to check the entropy of their passwords and let's say to find a better password which gives a better entropy, which is more difficult to guess what is the password. Yeah. Of course, accounts, we talk about accounts, must be handled in accordance with everything, GDPR and cybersecurity, blah, blah, blah. But please do not omit the farmer's mind. That's the most important approach to it. Yeah? I do not use GDPR approach, I personally use farmer's mind approach. So I say, this makes no sense. Sorry, I'm not going to do that. So when you own the account, that means that you know who can operate it. So who has the information necessary to control the account. In many cases, that means that organization needs to know who has the password. Yeah? And it does not matter if, what is the password, what is the account, yeah? If it's inside, outside. The only difference is that if it's outside, you cannot control it. It's much more difficult. That's also why it usually takes so long time when you discover a leak or any problem and you decide that you need to change everything. With eDirectory, done. With domain, Active Directory, it can be done within 15 minutes. That's the time Microsoft believes that it will happen. During first 15 minutes, both passwords are there. That's fun. You know about that, right? But external, if you need to convince some organization or somebody who is outside your organization that you need to change the password, it can sometimes take weeks. So you should ask yourself. It depends who you are. You know, you can ask your CIO, CSO, CEO, anybody. Yeah. But at the end, you know, there are several tasks, and these tasks that needs to be covered by a procedure, and you need to believe your procedure, and you need to enforce everybody to follow the procedure. Without that, we are in trouble. So quite often I visit a customer or simply somebody, I enjoy a coffee with CSO and can I ask you a question? Of course you can ask me a question. I say, what is your procedure when somebody new joins the team? To be honest, I don't know. I have to ask my guys what they do. Yeah? That's a clear signal that there is a problem. Then I ask, can I ask you another question? Yes, you can. They say, when somebody is leaving, what do you do? I don't know. Yeah? And when we return back to collectors, yeah, and somebody who has a nice example with some Netherlands insurance company, they now use our technology, they had a shared key pass, 30 people sharing key pass, 2,350 items in it, and one guy left. So they had a meeting, like you do. When somebody is leaving your team, you always have a meeting, right? Coffee, cookies, yeah? And they said, they decide, oh, it can be a problem. He has everything, yeah? So we need to change it. And they decide to change it. They had to hire a company because they quickly recognized that they are not able to do that themselves. And it took 6 weeks until they changed because everybody has everything. Yeah? Of course, there are other not so important but still important procedures, like new account. You buy a new device, you sign a new contract with somebody, and that means you have a new account. How this account is given to the team, How you give them, because, hey guys, you know, when you want to order a toilet paper, since tomorrow, use this. Yeah? And of course, that's related to sharing, because sharing, that's a basic thing you need, you know, within IT department, financial department, logistics department, everywhere, sharing. And then you need to share with your suppliers, with your customers, with your partners. And you know, once I've been working for a customer from other continent, they say, hey guys, I need access to your network because this is pretty boring, pretty slow. And they sent me email. There was a Word document attached to the email, and in that Word document was everything about their VPN. So I make a call, I say, please, you know, completely remove this and let's do it different way. So there are also other questions, because it's like with the traffic, in the street, you know, we have rules, but we also have police to enforce people to follow the rules. I do not know about any country, any states in the world which can handle this without police. That's nature of people. So we need to ask another crucial questions which are related to procedures. So is it administrator proof? That's very important. You know, if there is a person, a single person, who has access everywhere, you are in troubles. Even if you check every morning with the person, what about your mortgage? Everything okay? And what about your wife and kids? Everything okay? Nothing, you know, inside? Not enough. But you need to audit, you need reporting, you need to check if people really follow the rules and they set a good quality passwords. Because keep in mind, you know, people sometimes think, oh, there can be a policy, and yeah, in e-directory can be a policy. Yeah. In Active Directory there can be a policy, but here, no. It was very easy to set the password TTP here, but to be honest, I think that the password here is admin. It's better than TTP. So you need it, and the question is how you define it and how you do it, how you enforce people to do it. So at the end, it very probably needs a tool which can help you a lot, or of course you can use written policies and you can hire your own policeman and enforce people to follow the rules. So we have nice 15 minutes for demo and discussion, which is great. I want to show you the resolution of the screen is not so good, but it's okay. So you know, because I did many presentations and we've been talking behind the scenes about it, that we do SecureAnyBox. Yeah? And you probably remember the story, why we start developing this. That's because we got a new customer in 2005, and there was a bank. The bank now is owned by Raiffeisen Bank, and they enforce us to handle the secrets. We knew about them in a special way. I've been, you know, I spent 2 weeks of my life when I've been trying to find a good solution for that. I found nothing, means nothing. So we developed our own solution, which is still, believe me or not, unique. Yeah, it's just technically interesting. You know, it makes no sense business-wise, but yeah, technically it is interesting the way how we handle secrets. So what I want to show you is something really new, and it's about approach and procedures. Because in the organization, you usually see somebody who is responsible for people, who is hiring people, who is firing out people, who decide, oh, I hired somebody new and this guy will do this job, okay? That's today, maybe some of you use IBM. Do you use IBM? Who is using IBM? IBM, Identity Management. So the very nice example is that it starts in the human resources department. You hire somebody, you assign a task to the person, and IBM does it. So at the end, you have account in your directory, and it's a member of many groups, and it says, oh, this guy is an IT player. Yeah. But this approach cannot be used to give real access to real secrets. Yeah. It's so easy to make a mistake, to make somebody a member of some group, you know, or assign. So we have the somebody who is responsible for your users, for your colleagues, and from that side, I think it's a wish, request. I hire somebody new, please. I need you to give him or her access, but picture yourself as somebody who is responsible for all the secrets. Yeah? And when we talk about the example I used before, imagine you have 2,350 secrets, yeah? And somebody who's been hired from the street just yesterday. Are you going to give the KeyPass file or whatever file to this person the next day? Oh, maybe. If you are crazy enough, you can do it. It's good. It's so easy. When I ask customers, they say, oh, yeah, I'm not sure. Hey, Tom, you gave him the file? I'm also not sure. Yeah, but you see, he's working, so he probably has it. Crazy, yeah? So on the other side, we have somebody who is responsible for the secrets, the data. Of course, it can be a password, certificate, key, but also tons of documents. It depends. So when we see users here, we can work with a tag. It's something like a group. It does not work exactly like a group, but it says this guy is a member of team of IT department in a city of Brno. Thank you. So that means I'm the user manager and I want this guy to have access. He needs to be a valuable member of IT team in Brno. Yeah? I can assign this using several ways, because when you have IDM, you want to automate everything. So I can go here and I can say, okay, it's quite easy, very, very easy. Yeah? This is the connector to my LDAP source. And I say, okay, whoever is member of this group, VIP org, should get this tag, and whoever is coming through this connector should get this tag. I do this once, and I'm okay. And because, just to make it easier for my presentation, this user, my user Joe Doe, my favorite user, has both roles. So he's a user manager and he's also responsible for secrets. In the real life, it should not work like this, but for this example, that's how I handle it. So what I see here in the notification area, that I have some tasks to do. So I click this, and I see a special report, yeah, which is not visible in full because of the resolution. And it shows me users with tags. They have tag, but they do not have rights. So they should have access, but they do not have access. And I can say, okay, I do not like this guy, so I will skip doctors, and that's it. This guy will be still rejected, but we did investigate him, so I want to approve these two. Yeah? And I apply. Done. Imagine, you know, some of our customers are really large, so I did 5 assignments, but in the real life it can be 15,000, like this. So, why I show you this? I have secrets, and there is somebody who is responsible for secrets. Typically, there are several sets, data sets, you know, and responsible person. Somebody in IT is responsible for IT secrets, somebody in financial department is responsible for financial secrets like bank account access, etc. Yeah? And I need to hire somebody and give him or her access, I mean potential access, because I do not want to give him or her data. I want to give him access rights, and I want to watch what that person is doing. And using my SIEM, I can discover some unusual behavior. Say, hey, this guy opened 1,000 records in 1 hour. This is not allowed. One of our customers, he is joking around this, and he said, oh, it is so fast that I got SMS from our SIEM system, and I just make a call to the entrance and say, please stop Mr. Hua, I need to talk to him. Yeah? So that's how it should work. And because time is running, I'll show you another nice things, and that's it. Because we've been talking about the quality of passwords, because if you want to have a procedure, a part of the procedure also must be, let's say, a rule how good the passwords should be. So I have my favorite report, and what the report does, you know, it shows what is the most worst entropy in the safe box. Yeah? You see that somewhere it's okay, it's green. Yeah? But 2 is really not good. Yeah? So you see that here we have really weak passwords. Yeah? And it is not allowed. All other passwords are okay. No? But this is too weak. So imagine that you are responsible for this, you know. Let's say these are my real servers. These accounts belongs to servers running on this VMware, and you see two different levels, and you see that it's duplicate. Why? Because I did install these servers myself, and password is TTP. Yeah? This server and this server been installed by guys from other company, and they like to use root 00 as a password. And compare, you know, again, just to remind you, this is TTP, this is root 00. 3 characters, 6 characters, almost no difference in the level of security. So this is the way how you can check if your team members really follow your procedures, and if they follow, let's say, the rules or policies. Another nice thing, and very, very important today, you know, all the users get emails like we know what porno you watch, you know, we know your password, and in the email they see a real password, because these people, they use some formal leaks like from Dropbox, you know, they bought a database and they try, and the user, oh, they really know my password, I should take some action, which is very dangerous for you. And one of things is that you do not know where you use really the password. So you need to investigate. You enter the password and you try to find. See my 4 servers, yeah? We can try root 00, and I see 2 servers. Yeah? So that means that you say, okay, oh, I see this password, but I'm not sure if I use it somewhere else. You know, I have seen so many people and their Skype accounts being attacked this way because they use the same password many years ago for let's say Dropbox and Skype, and because of the leak, then their accounts, Skype accounts, being used for spamming. So I investigate this, and of course, you know, because I now know what is in the record, because I searched for a password and I found it, I know, and so I compromise these 2 and that 4, and that's it. So time is out, I'm out of the time, and I want to let you ask a question or complain or say, no, we don't agree, you know, I'm not convinced, I will continue with my KeyPass because I'm in love with my KeyPass. Okay, so that's it. I be here, and my plan is to do some maybe presentation of this if you are interested. Now it's your turn. Questions, please. Questions, complaints, whatever you want to say to me and to the audience. Wake up. Don't sleep. No questions? Nothing? Okay.
So when you edit your presentation, you show for start application, you have to put key password. But this like it's kind of personal solution, because when you have big enterprise, like you cannot rely on somebody who will put master key password to start application.
You know, that's a good comment. He's asking about the beginning when I had to enter some key, in fact, to decrypt the configuration. It depends. Yeah. Quite often it's a team, or you can use white envelope. You can keep the key in white envelope, and a group of people can get access to it. So there are you have several options how to handle this. My experience is when I see our existing customers, if the number of users is below, let's say 2,000-3,000, it's still one person who is responsible for that. Yeah, and there is a failover mechanism how to do that. But in fact, you know, the question is, if you lost that key, what you will lose? Yeah, you will not lose the content of safe boxes. That's safe perfectly. You will need to define your LDAP connectors again. You can do that. So we do not put in risk your credentials. We've been talking yesterday about LDAP access. And you will lose smart seeds for agents, but again, there is a way how you can, let's say, define it again. So you are not in risk that you will lose everything. That's not the case. One question and then stop.
Works without, you can just let it start. And you don't need a password.
Okay, thank you very much for attending my session, and please do not miss my tomorrow session. That's also fun.